Pistons fans, let's talk. Let's talk about Detroit Pistons, the next phase, which is to implement the coaching to not create a culture. The culture is already set. Yet to, I guess, further proceed in the culture. I have one candidate least likely to be a candidate. Nonetheless, my top candidate for the head coaching job for the Pistons, and this individual, why this individual is so, I don't want to say perfect, but positioned as a fit for this team, where they are and where they're going, based upon them as a head coach, based upon them as their accomplishments prior to being the Pistons head coach, and all what the Pistons culture has established up to this point. My candidate is Isaiah Thomas. It's not because he has roots here. Well, not just because he has roots here. That's more of a reason to elect him as head coach. I don't know if he'd be willing to coach it, but the reason why I elect him because he's every bit of what this team actually is, from the start of it to where it's going. I believe he's still relatable. Oh, he can be relatable to this new generation, because this new generation is actually implementing the foundations of the tradition of the old. So this is why I say that he is the perfect fit. He's brilliant. He's savvy. He's tenacious. He understands about improvisation. He's X and O's. He's the ideal fit for the Pistons as a Pistons head coach, based off of what Dwayne Casey have established as a head coach. The whole, we play hard, we play right, we play tough. If you look at every stop that he went to, they played hard, they played tough, and they was whatever. Of course, we could do his back history of saying how he didn't get his due diligence of finishing out the job that he started in Indiana with the Pacers. Nonetheless, whatever he does is successful because he just don't give his heart. He gives a direction with it. And don't get me wrong, he didn't do it by himself. I like to take the likes of Jack McCloskey for seeing it. Even what's the gentleman name? I'm drawing a blank. He was behind the scenes guy. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank on. He was one of Jack McCloskey's assistants, and I want to say McDaniel, but it's not McDaniels. What is his name? I'm drawing a blank. I guess maybe it'll come to me. But anyway, Jack McCloskey. Of course, you had this guy. He was like the scout of talent. And then you have, of course, Chuck Daly. And Isaiah first starting running mate is Bill Laimbeer. They basically set the tone. Isaiah started it by himself. I mean, what initially started off with, and then here comes Ben Wallace. Here comes Bill Laimbeer, and he comes in and he's what is that? He's the enforcer of those rules, which is what I believe that we have in Jay Nivey and Duran. Jalen Duran. I believe this is what we have in those two. You have one that's going to set it and one that's going to enforce it. You can't find a better tandem to compete. I mean, well, not to compete, but to compete going forward as well as to complete the bad boys going to work in this next gen. Whatever if it's going to be phase 3, whatever it's going to be, they set the tone for it. This as well as if Isaiah and Bill Laimbeer set the tone, then you follow that up with Ben Wallace and Chauncey. Then you follow that up with Ivy and Derwin. Right? I'm not slouching past anything of Grant Hill, what he contribute, or anything of the sort. I'm not slouching past any of that. No more would I be slouching past what Cade can contribute. It would be the equivalency of having Cade on the Going to Work crew, or I mean not Cade, Grant Hill on the Going to Work crew. If Grant Hill would have stayed another year or two, I don't know. I believe they was going to sign Ben Wallace, for a mid-level whatever, and everything still would have been in place. They still would have traded, still would have signed Chauncey in free agency. However, they wouldn't have been able to have Chucky Atkins in their sign and trade. Nonetheless, I believe they had Ben Wallace. They would have Ben Wallace and Grant Hill. Grant Hill wouldn't have to have the rush back. It would have been a different deal. Anyway, but that being said, Isaiah Thomas is my top candidate. He is my top candidate. I don't know if he's up for consideration, whether it is on his perspective or as well as the organization. Isaiah Thomas. Pistons fans, I salute.